On this week's show, we'll get you caught up on the diamond as the Flames approach conference play and share the remarkable journey to Liberty for baseball transfer Derek Orndorff.
Plus, Lady Flames hoops are back on the hardwood in the WNIT and an update from spring ball. This is Flames Central.
A freshman competing at nationals in story time with head baseball coach Scott Jackson. So much content that you don't want to miss on the show today. Thanks for joining us and welcome to Flames Central. I'm Emily Austin. He's Rhett McKibben.
Yeah, it might be spring break for the students, but Liberty Athletics is not slowing down this week, which means for us here at Flames Central, we're not slowing down either.
Ain't that the truth, Brett? No days off for us or for number 14 Liberty Baseball, who is getting into the thick of its schedule. The Flames continue their homestand by hosting Campbell, the alma mater of Liberty head baseball coach Scott Jackson. The Flames head into this one, Brett, on an 11-game winning streak. However, not an ideal start for LU. Let's pick it up Friday night. Campbell starter Thomas Harrington throwing some heat. And then you have MLB prospect Zach Neto. This guy can rake. Brought the swing and the swag as the Camels shut out Liberty 7-0 in Game 1. You know, Game 2 of the series was canceled due to that snow, sleet, nasty weather on Saturday. So to Sunday's ball game we go, featuring Trey Gibson on the mound for the Flames. He got one there, but guess who showed up again? Neto goes deep again. But thankfully, the bats finally wake up for the Flames in the 5th inning, and after a close call in the 9th, Liberty holds on for the 5-3 win to split the series. Moving on to the road. The Flames hit the road for a midday matinee in Richmond against VCU on Tuesday. All about pitching. In this one, the Rams out-hit Liberty 5-3 and didn't even get a hit out of the infield, but a bunt single in the 9th would push them past the Flames for the walk-off 2-1 victory. Liberty will open up ASUN conference play on the road this weekend at North Florida.
Yeah, tough last couple games for the Flames, but they'll turn it around in no time. And it wouldn't surprise me if Derek Orndorff was at center stage. The transfer has made the most of his time as a Liberty Flame, and believe it or not, putting on LU's red, white, and blue fulfilled a childhood dream for the Pennsylvania native.
From probably the time I was 14 or 15 years old, I wanted to be in Lynchburg, Virginia at Liberty University. My dad played, he coached baseball, so from the time I was a little kid, I guess I just picked up a bat and a ball and started doing whatever Dad did, and then kind of just took it on for myself once I fell in love with the game.
Derek Orndorff has been playing baseball for nearly 20 years. Today, he plays for the Liberty Flames, following in the footsteps of his father and the vision of his grandmother.
So my dad actually started on the baseball team on a scholarship here, and that was where my grandmother had always wanted her boys to go play baseball. Always wanted to watch Liberty baseball, just for what the university stood for and just the godly foundation it has. I came down to a camp, I believe it was my sophomore year of high school. I just fell in love with the place, and I was like, there's no chance that God doesn't want me here. Like, this is where I want to be.
While Derek's desire would be to play on the mountain, God would take him on a different journey. He would start his collegiate baseball career at Penn State, then would transfer to Division II Seton Hill. With 1 year of eligibility remaining, Orndorff would enter the transfer portal, wondering if God would lead him to the place where he dreamed of playing years ago, Liberty University. But he would need to link up with a former teammate to get on the radar of Flames head baseball coach Scott Jackson.
A lot of the credit to my good friend Ryan Sloniger. I played with him at Penn State. So he was good friends with Coach Jackson when he was being recruited, when Coach Jackson was still at UNC.
Fast forward, 6, 7 years later, I got a text message, it's just completely unsolicited from him, that said, one of my old teammates is at a Division II school now and is going in the transfer portal.
Slonny always knew that I wanted to come here, so he said, once he knew I was transferring, he said, let me make a call, let me reach out to him and see if we can do something for you at Liberty.
Meanwhile, Derek would tell his now fiancée he would let the portal play out, but the next day, his phone would ring with a familiar area code.
A number from Lynchburg, Virginia pops up. And I told her I would stay away from like taking calls. I was like, I gotta take this one. Like this might be it.
We had video because of the Division II World Series on the Synergy program, which there's not a ton of Division II footage in there, but we were able to go back and watch all of his at-bats in the College World Series.
And said, I like what I saw, let's try to get you here.
Be on time for it and handle it down there.
While a roster spot was guaranteed for Derek, a starting position would have to be earned.
So let's start with, you've played center field on a Division II College World Series team. You're a good center fielder. Hey, we've got a good center fielder too.
He robbed him of a home run! Over the fence, Jalen Guy.
He said, we have a spot open in right field and we want you to fill it. We want you to have the opportunity to compete for it. And I knew that nothing was going to be given to me, but I came in with the mindset of I would want to be the opening day starter in right field for the Flames.
For him to say, hey, it's not about me, I have no problem moving from center to right if that means it's going to make us a better team. Just some of those things that started to come out with Derek in the recruiting process, it was like, wow, he gets it.
Another thing he would get is an unlikely opportunity. Flames star center fielder Jalen Guy would suffer an injury that would sideline him for the rest of the season, making Derek the next guy up. And the high expectations would follow.
With Jalen, the first thing that a lot of people have that come to mind is the Sports Center plays that he's been able to make. And I just thought it was really neat. That was what people are used to in center field with us. And then sure enough, on opening day at Florida, you know, you get #1 on Sports Center.
Ball hit well, center field, Orndorff going back and a outstanding.
I mean, there's no one that's going to be like Jalen, but at the end of the day, I just try to be the best version of myself and play to my strengths and continue to work on my weaknesses as a player and just try to help the team in whatever manner that I can.
Here's a swing and a high fly ball. Wallop deep left center by Orndorff. That ball is going to leave the yard.
One way he's doing that is leading the nation in home runs.
Orndorff on the 0-2. Goes to center field, and he has done it again.
Rolled earlier for #9. And he swings on this pitch and sends it high and deep to right field. That ball's gone! Derek Orndorff.
1-0 pitch, lifted into right and deep. The wind pushing it over the wall and right by the flame train.
The journey. That would be Derek's motto today. A fitting description of God's plan to introduce him to Liberty, but then bring him here for the final chapter of his collegiate baseball career. And part of the journey is reflecting on it.
That comes into my mind is when I'm driving up to the stadium, because I remember driving up to it as that 15, 16-year-old kid wanting to play here. Looking at the uniform, I take an extra second before I put it on to really soak it in.
You know, God's got a plan for all of us. With Derek, you know, sometimes something worth having is worth waiting for. And I think with him having to go to 2 different schools and then being here, I think in the back of his mind, this is something he had his eye on. And then for him to be rewarded with the patience and the work and the drive and the character that it took to get him here, it's just really fun to watch him be rewarded.
Every game before we start, I make sure to run to center field and just look at everything, soak it all up, take in the sights, take in the smells, and just thank God for giving me the opportunity, because it goes by like that.
Oh, if that story doesn't put a smile on your face, I don't know what will. All right, staying on the diamond, Liberty softball coming off a tough showing at the Tiger Invitational that saw them drop multiple extra inning games, look to get back on track at home versus UNC. Now be a tough start for the Lady Flames. Megan Johnson would have control issues in the circle, plunking 2 batters to start the game. They would both cross home plate, giving the Tar Heels a 2-0 lead in the first. Bottom of the 4th, Liberty with a runner on, when the hottest bat in the lineup, Danae Griffin, would launch this ball to deep center field. Rise with us is right. Game all tied up at 2. In the 6th, Kiana Jones at the dish. The big Canadian would smoke this ball over the left field fence, giving UNC a 3-2 lead. And they would never give that lead up, taking it by a final of 3-2, with Liberty now having dropped 5 games in a row. Now, it could be easy to feel down about the Flames' latest performances, but let me put a smile on your face. Take a look at the future that is developing at a fast pace. Rachel Roop has 4 outfield assists this season with her cannon of an arm and an on-base percentage of .342. Casey Machado, the young gun, is hitting .286 with 6 RBI and only 28 at-bats on the year. And finally, Alexis Soto is hitting .324 with 4 doubles and 8 RBI. Truly a young and talented team that's going to be challenging for the ASUN title with conference play starting. Turning our attention to basketball, the Lady Flames still had games to play when they found out they had received an invitation to the WNIT.
A well-deserved invitation, too. This team was too special and too talented not to play postseason basketball. The Lady Flames hosted former foe Campbell in the first round. And Red, I might be breaking the rules here, but let's just pick it up in the fourth quarter. Back and forth battle. We got to get to the meat of it. Luana Serrano pulls up for the jumper. It's good to give the Lady Camels a 1-point lead just a minute into the final frame, but then Liberty would respond, and much because of Bridget Redstadt proving she isn't hanging up her jersey just yet. That one bounces around and in. She finished this game with a double-double, 16 points and 12 boards. Had a partner in crime in Maya Berkman, who also stuffed the stat sheet, offensive board, and one there. She had 12 points and 10 rebounds. Redstadt also firing from downtown. Between that and the dagger, the solid defense down the stretch, the Lady Flames hold on for the 50-44 victory, advancing to the second round of the WNIT for the first time in program history. Hey, Coach Green, what's March all about?
Well, it's March Madness, survive and move forward. I expected this to be a very difficult game. Campbell was seeded number 1 in their tournament, wasn't able to close the deal in their championship game, so we know they're a championship team, and it was just a hard-fought ball game, and we just did enough to take care of the victory.
As we mentioned earlier in the show, it's spring break for Liberty. Well, for most students, including the football team, which took a pause from spring ball this week. Last show, we told you all about the new transfers on the roster, which you should get pretty excited about. But hey, remember, there's also some fresh faces on the coaching staff as well, and they should get you just as pumped up. Darius Eubanks with the defensive backs, offensive line coach Chris Klenakis, and then former Cleveland Browns assistant Jeremy Garrett, who will coach the D-line. Here's more from Coach Garrett on his decision to leave the NFL and join the Flames.
Coming from the NFL to this opportunity, this was the opportunity to get my own group and then work with people that I like and enjoy being around. You know, just get the opportunity to do it at a school like Liberty, where spiritually I can impact my guys as well as on the field. So that all went into that decision. It was a tough decision because I enjoyed the guys I worked with in Cleveland. But at the end of the day, the opportunity to get my own group and work with Coach Freeze and his staff and be at this university was important to me.
Staying with football, Malik Willis continues to prepare for the NFL draft on April 28th. His next big event just so happens to be here at Liberty for Pro Day. Personnel from all across the NFL are traveling to the mountain to watch the projected top quarterback in this year's draft. Not only that, NFL Network, ESPN, and of course ourselves will be there to bring you all the latest on Malik's quest to be QB1. Here's what Malik's personal quarterback coach Quincy Avery had to say about his star client.
He's physically the most dynamic guy that we have in the draft. And I would say that almost at all positions, right? He's super quick, he's super strong, he's super fast. Like, all the things we talk about what a quarterback should be in 2022, he fits all the criteria.
Man, I cannot wait for the NFL draft. All right, let's take a trip out west. Liberty Lacrosse would fall in Game 1 of their road swing to UC Davis by a goal, but would look to get back in the win column against California. Flames and Golden Bears at California Memorial Stadium. LU would showcase their offensive talents in this matchup, racing out to an early 3-0 lead in the first 5:09 of the contest. Jordan Baerga, along with Olivia Glaze, Cammie Merkel, and Tori Banks would all collect hat tricks on the day, and Liberty would never trail in this game. It would be a complete effort for the Lady Flames as they take down Cal in the first ever matchup between the two groups by a final of 17-13, improving to 500 on the season.
All right, let's switch gears to track and field. Hey, Red, imagine being only a true freshman and competing at nationals, aka imagine being high jumper Kennedy Sauter on the biggest stage. Sauter cleared 7 foot, half an inch to tie for 13th place. He would earn second team All-America honors, which makes him Liberty's first NCAA Division I men's high jump All-American. Best part about all of this, Rhett, Kennedy is just a freshman, like I said. So excited to see what this young talent will do in a Flames uniform for the outdoor season and in years to come. All right, still to come on Flames Central, Liberty Hockey competes at the ACHA National Championships.
Plus, it's story time. Hear a great tale from Liberty Baseball's head coach Scott Jackson. Flames Central will be right back.
the fence, leaping! Wow!
To the 5, pylon, he's in.
At Liberty University, we understand life can be unpredictable, and when you need a resilient career, your education should withstand any test. So we've made sure the degree you need is within reach by freezing one of the lowest tuition rates in the nation for 5 years and counting, and giving scholarships, discounts, and credit for work you've already done, because we're proud of what you do. We've done this for over 30 years, and we know how to help. We're here to help you.
Your future career will ask you to analyze, assess, implement, react, make smart decisions in a split second. With the Liberty University degree, you'll be ready because your first day on the equipment comes long before your first day on the job. Get ready to take on tomorrow, today.
In 1776, one of the most important documents in our nation's history was penned by one of Virginia's most famous residents. Throughout the next 200 years, the importance of Central Virginia was deeply woven into the tapestry of our nation's history. Liberty University is blessed to be built upon these same historic grounds, furthering the Christian tradition of our founding fathers and training young men and women of character and of calling. At Liberty, you're welcomed into a community rich with history, and we invite you to explore our campus in Central Virginia to discover more than just the surface level. Building upon the tapestry of history, we strive for greatness, humbled to be at the heart of where the country began.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Flame Central. Liberty Hockey, in search of their first ever national championship, would defeat Illinois in the initial round of the national tournament and then would face UNLV in the Elite Eight, a team they had already faced 3 times this season, dropping 2 of those matchups. Unfortunately, it would be a nightmarish start for the Flames. In the first period, the Flames on the power play when a massive hit, look at that beauty, would turn into an opportunity for the Rebels. A shorty would make it 1-0 UNLV. Still in the first, Rebels with a 5-on-3. This shot would have eyes and make its way past Verostic, making it 2-0. The Rebels would go on to take a 3-0 lead after 1. Flames would get going. Second period, a beauty pass to Fricks, who would take it top shelf, short side to draw back to within 2. In the third, under 4 minutes to go, Lauber right off the draw would rip it past Wickman. Flames down 1, but that is as close as it would get. The Rebels would hold off the Flames, adding an empty netter, taking it by a final of 4-2 and ending Liberty's season.
I mean, Rhett, you are just absolutely all over the place between softball, women's basketball, hockey. Do you need a breather? Do you need me to take over for
Do you want
Wes?
to do warm today?
I don't know.
No,
I think
right.
that would be a disaster, a hot mess, you know, to go on theme. All right,
go.
Warm, hot, and fuego, the top 3 moments, players, or plays of the week. Rhett breaks it down. We don't have a theme because it's just too busy.
Right.
So let's start things off with warm.
Happy St. Patty's Day, though, right?
Yes.
We'll say that. Okay.
Something
You
green.
got the green on.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
All right, warm. This is a play by, pinch me. There you go. Good stuff. This is a play by Maya Berkman. Fourth quarter, the game is getting close. Camels have come back. Berkman finally gets some emotion going, and I think this is pivotal because after this, the Flames go on an 8-0 run.
One.
Yeah, she gets it going. Just, again, fired up. This is a group all season long that's been built off of emotion, grit, just determination, and it was a little bit listless throughout the initial 3 quarters of the game. But that play, once that happened, I looked at Kelly Deo, and I could just, see in the eyes, I was like, okay, we're going to win now. Like, that that sealed the deal in my mind.
3 times that the women's basketball team has been in the NIT, and now finally getting that first round victory. So excited to see those girls continue in postseason play. Okay, from warm, we move to hot.
All right, it's just another play. Some great plays this week. And then Rachel Crane, a freshman, second baseman on the softball team, not having a home run all season long in her career. First career home run is a grand slam against Arkansas. Brett. That's right. She could have had the bat flip going on too. What I love about the story is Rachel Crane, again, just came to Liberty late in the summer, was told by coaches in high school, you don't have enough talent to play D1 ball.
Watch me.
That's right. And then you see the girls are fired up. The best part of all this is when she's rounding third, the slap that she gives to Dot Richardson. I was talking to Coach Dot. She said, I am in pain. She like almost took my arm out of my socket. You can see all smiles there. And this young lady throwing as much power into this high five that she did the grand slam. So just a great moment for Liberty softball.
Love that. Yeah. That was a great moment for sure. All right, so we end things off with Enfuego. We're going to the tennis courts, Rhett.
We are.
I like it.
We have not been there in a while. Josh Wilson for the men's tennis team. This guy has got a great amount of potential, but he's been playing some great tennis as well. I was looking through the notes and just what Coach Fauché had to say. He says he can be one of the best in the nation.
Wow.
And if Coach Fauché says that, it's Fauché going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to go down. This guy's been a torpedo for LU men, won both singles matches against Charlotte, Georgia State, and the doubles. He's been great too. And Liberty men's tennis, again, a contender in the A-Sun. When you've got the talent that they do, Coach Schwantz did an excellent job of bringing in guys that really just fit their dynamic, their system, their belief system. And he is the fruit of that labor. He's been doing an excellent job for this team, and good to see him having success.
Continuing where they left off last season, not being able to compete too far in postseason play. So excited for them. All right, thanks so much, Rhett. Great job as usual. Coming up, we have story time with Coach Jackson, and this story is something you don't want to miss. Stay with us.
Welcome to Liberty University's online programs, where living out your calling with integrity is what you train to do. And getting ready for the future doesn't mean missing out on the now. Because a university is more than buildings and books, and an education should set you free, not fence you in. Welcome to Liberty's global campus, where distance learning was pioneered and evolved into one of the top-ranked schools in the nation. Where protecting your budget, your time, and your education isn't just a theory, it's our priority. Here, degrees in your field reflect industry demands and help get you ahead of the competition. Where college comes to you, but you can come to college too. Game day, homecoming, graduation day, your school, your values, your experience, your choice. Welcome to Liberty University, where we train champions for Christ.
Behind every great leader, change maker, and essential worker is a teacher. Though teaching today may mean inspiring students from home, at Liberty University, we've been inspiring students from home for over 30 years. Earn your Bachelor of Education degree 100% online and graduate prepared for licensure and classroom ready, wherever that classroom may be. So the leaders, change makers, and essential workers of tomorrow can be inspired by you.
Hey friends, welcome back to Flame Central. Rhett, you know, one of my favorite parts of kindergarten was nap time. No, I'm just kidding. Story time. You know, a classmate's parent would come in and read a book to the class. And now we have our own story time, but a Flame Central edition.
Yeah, that's right. We're asking former athletes and coaches about some of their favorite stories from their time at Liberty. And head baseball coach Scott Jackson might be in the running for one of the best stories yet.
All right, I've got a good story for you. You know, just being here at Liberty, had a chance to be around a lot of good athletes, a lot of good coaches. One of my favorites is some time that we had to spend with Malik Willis here during his season where he had to sit out. So we were practicing several Mondays in a row. The second or third one, the same young man sitting in our stadium just watching us take BP. And so I went over to him and just said, hey man, come on down here. And he walked down and I said, you a football player? You know, looked like a football player. And big, strong kid. And he says, yeah, I'm on the football team, but you know, I'm sitting out this year. And Mondays are our off days. So I said, you must be Malik. And he said, yeah, I'm Malik. And we all know who Malik was, that he was a transfer quarterback from Auburn. We never knew it would turn into what it is now. But anyway, we invite Malik down on the field with us, hangs around the cage, shags some fly balls, just a wonderful kid and a humble kid, and just a pleasure to be around. Fun getting to know him, letting him get to know our guys. Finally, after I think probably the second or third time he came out, we decided to throw him a little BP, and about the sixth or seventh swing, he hit one off the brick column, the right side of that scoreboard, which our right-handed hitters in this ballpark know that's not very easy to do. So he got all of our attention, and we're just thrilled that we had that experience with him and somebody that represents this school and this athletic department so well, and we wish him the best.
Why does it not surprise me that Willis smoked one off the scoreboard?
I would love to see him play baseball here. Can you imagine?
Yeah, the guy's an absolute maniac. All right, before we let you go, time to take a look at one of our top athletic moments from the past 50 years.
Yeah, this play is from just a few years back when Abby Britton wowed the fans with one of the best goals of the year. Take a look.
April 14th, 2018. Liberty Women's Lacrosse hosting Winthrop. It was senior day, and it turned out to be extra special for senior Abby Britton. With 26:38 left in the game, Abby would take a pass from freshman Mia Toscano, and without looking, flip it behind her back and into the net. The athletic move caught the attention of the fans as well as the media. NCAA.com named it the week's 9th best lacrosse play, and the ESPNW ranked it as the number 4 top women's play of the day. The Lady Flames went on to defeat Winthrop 12-11, thanks in part to an acrobatic no-look goal from senior Abby Britton.
Yeah, that was a great tally. Hey, time to let you go. Make sure you check out the Flame Central podcast.
All right, for Rhett, I'm Emily. We'll see you right back here next week.